You're welcome to today's broadcast. Um, Today, I'll be discussing. I'll be discussing some tips, some cybersecurity tips that everyone needs to know. We need to learn a lot about what is happening in the global space, within the cybersecurity space, within the internet. So, for every device that is connected to the internet, there is a need for such a device to be protected. There's a need for such device to be um, protected from the attack of the hackers, which is one of the reasons we're having this discussion. And you're welcome to this section. I want to welcome you. My name is Bolaji Bankole. I'm a cybersecurity expert, and I'm a pen tester. I've been privileged to also implement several cybersecurity solutions. And today I'll be discussing about some tips that will be useful. We all need to know, and this might be for some people that are just starting in the industry. So, irrespective of that, this is also going to be useful to everyone. So, talking about cybersecurity, what is cybersecurity? Let me start with that. Let me define what cybersecurity is. So, cybersecurity is, in simple terms, the protection of the cyberspace. When you talk about the protection of cyberspace, it means the protection of assets within the cyberspace. It means the protection of devices that are on the internet, that have access to the internet, be it for an organization, be it for your personal use, be it your phone and likes. And so, for cybersecurity, it is necessary for us to have an idea of what to do per time and understand how these things work. So, for every device, your phone, as long as it's connected to the internet, you got internet data, then you know that you're exposed. You know that you are a target. It doesn't matter where you are, where you find yourself, where you're working from. These bad guys can track you. Just one click, then boom, you're away from an attack. You're just one click away from a data breach. You're just one click away from an attack, from an attacker. So this internet space is boundless. Um, it's boundless. There are no, as it were, there's no limitation. So anyone from China, from any part of the world, Japan, can have conversation with you, have dealings with you, have good business deals with you over the internet. So to say that the list, what I'm going to talk about is the fact that we all have to know and learn more about how to protect ourselves. So let's dive right in. Talking about your password um, on each of the devices, both your phone, your laptop, or servers or applications. Password is required, and everybody uses password. It is key. It is useful. So the bad guys would expect that one day you would probably just make a mistake and you use the same password for all the websites, or and if there's an attack somewhere, they gain access to it. That password can go far, can be sold, the credentials can be sold to, anywhere, any part of the world, be sold to the dark web, and people will use that. So why are we talking about password management? This is key. There are several ways to manage it, starting from personal information, starting from your personal use, from the way you use your phone. Yes, all phones should be passworded, which is key, which is one of the good practice that everyone should have. Yes, I mean, you might be shocked that some people are actually don't have that password. That's them phones passworded. Laptops also should be passworded, and also this can be automated. On the phone, there are certain softwares that you might want to use. Some 2FA software that's multiple factor authenticator software that would ensure that your phone gets passworded. And 2FA is also a very good security control. It's about what you know and what you have. So what you know is your password. Um, then what you have is like your um, biometric, your fingerprint. So that's also one thing. So there are several ways. And looking at the servers, you can implement several policies on the server. If you talk about Active Directory, you can implement a group policy that would, be replicated around all the users on the Active Directory. That works. So another thing is talking about applications that, irrespective of what your application is used for, it's necessary to also talk about this. Just talk about what it's necessary to talk about the use of let's say the some security controls really on the application. So you look at some passwords, having good password, having capture, having one-time password, having 2FA also on your application is key. I mean, these are some of the controls that everyone should have. And we all should also look at from the company's perspective, there's a need to have a firewall. Talking about a firewall, you should have a firewall at the network level and the application level. Always be careful about attachment. So this is another discussion. There's a need to also talk about phishing, cybersecurity awareness. If you have cybersecurity awareness, an effective one where you always educate your staff, your family, your friends about how not to click on certain links. Not all the links that you gain access to or you have or that is sent to you that should be clicked. Not all documents should be opened. So that does happen. Not all flyers should be downloaded. But it's going to take a while because cybersecurity has a lot to do with building information security culture, building more of a culture, not just like putting the rule out there and trying to struggle through how to enforce it and the like. So my take on that is that we should look for ways to always educate the staff, and you can't do that enough. Like you can't overflow that. Okay, then sensitive browsing such as banking or okay, device that belongs to you. We need to pay attention to certain things about what we browse, wherever we find ourselves. Some people get to the airport and just connect. Some people just find it in the internet anywhere and they connect. They forget that. there's always a gateway, and people can have access to what you're doing. They can just literally just gain access to your system and get information from your system. So also in public space, when you're using an internet access that you're not sure of, it's not yours. You're not expected to do certain transactions like your, banking application or banking transactions, or try to do certain things related to, you buying stuffs on, some sites. That's also something to look out for. Don't do that. Yes, don't do that. Yes, don't do that. Now let's talk about backup. And backup is key. It's gonna save any organization. It's gonna save anyone from, you know, um, attack, in case there's an attack, in case there's like a ransomware attack or any kind of attack. Really, it's necessary for everyone to be that careful. Another thing that I want to talk about is patch management. Part management is key because it's always from the vendor. It's one of the ways the vendor usually like to educate people, like to protect their infrastructure, protect their investment. So all the laptops you've got, all the servers you've gotten, all the applications you have, there are researchers. So I'll pick a particular vendor aside an example. This vendor, let's say Microsoft, now they have researchers. They also have several bounty programs. And, and there are times that people discover certain vulnerabilities after the applications are being rolled out, after the applications are being shared with the people to use. And what do you get from that? Find out that in such situations, people will, you know, I'm going to cite an example like the Log4j, where, it's a Java library, it's a third party library. Most organizations have certain things to do with it, directly or indirectly, because of the applications that they have, because of some applications that run on their server. So it's not like they actually procure that application, but it is key, it is necessary for things to happen, right? So that does happen. And in such situation, it's always good to look for ways to, you know, automate the patching system, like automate the automate the. It's also good to look for ways to automate the patch process. Yeah, it's good to automate the patch process. It's really good. So patch management is key. You need a policy, you need to implement the infrastructure. You also need some um, uh, professional who cybersecurity expert that actually got experience with that. Also, talking about malware, malware is key. Um, Cybersecurity threat that everyone should pay attention to, and it comes into the system in different ways. Sometimes you have a laptop that is good, it's okay. As soon as it's connected to the internet, you just find out that it start misbehaving after a while. Yeah, and you're wondering how did it get in. It could have gotten in several ways. If you visit certain sites that where you've gotten some malicious softwares, that happens. You've also you can get it even without doing that, just surfing the internet. Sometimes you get on a particular site, then it will direct you to another site. And if you click on certain information that you're not supposed to click on, that also can result into um, you downloading malware. Sometimes you also download certain files looking for some software, sort of software out there, and you try to download. You don't know the source. And sometimes you want to download a PDF file, a zip file. Those are some of the trap that some of these attackers use. Another thing to look out for is how to make sure that even if you downloaded any malware, um, you're able to ensure that it won't get into your system, or if it does get into your system, it won't spread. It won't delete your files or just corrupt your system and put you in a mess. Now it's necessary for you to have an effective antivirus. This is key. This is a must-have for anyone. It's not a function of, oh yeah, I'm a cybersecurity expert. I know what to do at all times. Oh no, I'm not. I don't do stuffs online. Yeah, you don't do stuff online, but don't worry. It just get somehow there's a way that it gets to catch up with people, and there's some information out there. So let's see. Um, so we're trying to quickly check for something. Because when you talk about this, a lot of people say, no, no, no. But guess what? Come on. So we want to talk about malware. We can talk about ransomware. So ransomware, um, about 65% of ransomware infections are delivered via phishing attack. Ransomware costs will reach like 20,000, $20 billion by 2021. Hackers achieve an average of 2,000 and 2,044 per day. So they achieve an average attack per day. This is globally. And what do you think about this kind of information? Yeah, it means that bad guys are out there. They're still doing stuff. So we all need to be careful. We just need to pay attention to these things, um, and not feel like, oh, to find a way around it. Yes, I get it. Also on social media, we need to be careful what we post, what we do, and what we also download is very important. What we share is important. Sometimes some of these threat actors could use the social media, use information recording from your social media post, to launch an attack. That happens. So finally, talk about the cybersecurity awareness. It is important. We all need to get it. We all need to get it. And it's about building the cybersecurity culture. It's about building a culture where everybody will learn and try to improve on cybersecurity tips and have like a very good cybersecurity hygiene. Welcome to this section. Till we meet again, I remain Poetry Frankly. We mystify cybersecurity. Thank you for joining us on this podcast. Bye for now.